They tell you the right life will come if you just wait long enough. They lied. I'm 83 years old, and I spent far too many nights of my younger years lying awake, counting what I didn't have: a husband, children, a table set for more than one. I was 38 when the fear became loud, too loud to ignore. I had built everything they said to build: a career, a home, a reputation for being the one who showed up. I showed up for everyone: weddings, baby showers, birthday parties where I smiled so hard my face ached on the drive home, and I would sit in my car, alone, in the dark, and cry in a way I never let anyone see. I had been in painful relationships, men who took without giving, men who disappeared without explanation. I had done the therapy, done the work, read the books, attended the events, smiled at strangers, and still the seat beside me stayed empty. There is a grief in that which no one prepares you for. Not the grief of death, something quieter, the grief of a life you imagined but couldn't quite reach. Every pregnancy announcement felt like a small door closing. Every engagement, another reminder of what the calendar was doing to you. I want to tell you something now, something I wish someone had sat me down and said clearly. That grief was real. Don't let anyone take it from you by telling you to be grateful. Don't let anyone silence it by pointing to unhappy marriages. Your longing was human. It was right. It was honest. But here is what I got wrong. I treated my life like a waiting room. I was always waiting, waiting to be chosen, waiting for the story to start, as if everything before love was just prologue. It wasn't. I had a friend. She found love at 82, married a widower, danced at her own wedding with white hair and creaky knees. I have never seen a face more lit from the inside. And I had another friend who married at 47, who had spent her 30s the same way I had: tired, wandering, quietly terrified. She told me once that the shift happened not when she found him, but when she stopped making her life a placeholder. She picked up dancing again. She built something of her own, not as a distraction, not as a trick to attract someone, but because she decided her days deserved to be full, whether or not someone was watching. I was so busy grieving what I didn't have that I was absent from what I did have: time, health, freedom, the rare and unrepeatable gift of a Tuesday afternoon that belonged entirely to me. I did not understand that until too late. So I am asking you something, not as advice, as a confession from a woman who stood where you are standing and looked in the wrong direction for too long. Stop waiting for your life to be legitimate. It already is. The loneliness is real. Let yourself feel it fully. Then get up, not to find someone, but because your days are burning whether you use them or not. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not running out of time in the way fear tells you that you are, but you are alive right now, this moment, and that is the only currency that ever actually mattered. Don't repeat my mistakes. I left something out, the part I was too proud to say the first time: the bitterness, because it came. Oh, it came, and it wore a pretty disguise. It looked like independence. It sounded like strength. But underneath it, something was hardening. A quiet wall I was building, brick by brick, every time someone announced an engagement, every time a friend disappeared into a marriage and stopped calling. I told myself I was protecting my peace. I was protecting my pain. There is a difference, and I did not learn it young enough. See, when you carry grief for too long without letting anyone touch it, it changes shape. It stops feeling like sadness. It starts feeling like wisdom. You start believing the wall is discernment, that the distance is dignity, but walls keep everything out. The hurt, yes, and the warmth too. I watched a woman at my church. She was 41, single, chronically ill, the kind of tired that lives in your bones, not just your body. She had tried everything the world told her to try: apps, events, therapy, prayer, and still she went home alone. What I admired about her was not that she was fine. She wasn't fine. She said so plainly and without apology. She said, "I am sad about this, and I am still here. Both things are true." That undid something in me, because I had spent so many years trying to choose: either pretend it doesn't hurt or drown in the hurting. I never considered I could hold both, that I could mourn something genuinely and still get up on a Thursday morning and make tea and find something beautiful in the light coming through the kitchen window. That is not settling. That is not giving up. That is the hardest kind of courage there is. The women I have seen carry this particular grief best were not the ones who convinced themselves they didn't want what they wanted. They were the ones who stopped letting the wanting consume the living. They still showed up to weddings, not because it didn't sting, but because the friend mattered more than the sting. They still built things, not as consolation prizes, but because building is what humans are made to do. We are not meant to wait in stillness for life to hand us permission, and some of them found love late, quietly, without announcement. A blind date at 66, a stranger at a dance at 47, a second glance at a birthday party neither of them wanted to attend, and some of them did not. And I will not lie to you and say that didn't matter. It mattered. But here is what else is true. The ones who kept their hearts open, who refused to let the years make them hard, who cried when they needed to cry and laughed when something was funny, and built a life that was genuinely, honestly theirs. They were not half lives. They were whole, completely, quietly, stubbornly whole. I'm 83. My hands shake when I pour my morning coffee. The face in the mirror is a stranger most days, but I carry very little bitterness now. I work too hard to put it down, to pick it back up. And if I could reach through time and sit across from you, the you that is 38 and exhausted and quietly terrified, I would not tell you it all works out. I would tell you this: you are not a story waiting to begin. You are already the story. Live it like you know that. Tell them you love them today.